Welcome back to FM Story. In the last episode, we began season 13 of Glory Hunt to save our second season with Juventus, with the only aim this season to win the Coppa Italia. The season started pretty well The season started pretty well in the last episode. We've lost one of our opening 7 league games, and we've got a win and a draw from our opening 2 Champions League games. So without further ado, let's get into the action. We are at the end of October. We've got a game coming up away at Fiorentina. We do have a few players out. Tonali suspended. Serie is out injured. We ended the last episode with a 3-0 victory at home against Bologna. We started up with a disappointing 2-2 draw against Frosinone. We did go 1-0 down. We were then quickly 2-1 up, but then shortly after we went 2-1 up, we conceded an equaliser and didn't have anything in the remaining minutes to get a result. We then won 3-1 at home against Parma, despite playing 70 minutes with 10 men after Tonali was sent off. They got a late consolation goal, but otherwise a pretty convincing performance. And then the most recent game was away at Chelsea in the Champions League, and we got a victory because of an own goal. We didn't really pose too much of a threat, but we came away with the 3 points. So as far as the Champions League is concerned, we've got 7 points from 3 games. We're in 7th position in the league phase. And as far as Serie A is concerned, we're sat in 4th with 18 points from 9 games. If we manage to beat Fiorentina in this next game, it should take us above Roma into 3rd position. It's the fact that Inter have already played 11 games is a bit strange when half the league, most of the league have only played 9. But obviously, as we've said for this season and last season, the league and the Champions League don't really matter. It's all about making sure we've got the right tactic, the right players, and some form for when the Coppa Italia comes around. So this is the side we've gone with for the game against Fiorentina. We've gone with Mafreta and Lodviks as a centre defensive pairing. Serefcan's playing at left back. And we've gone with Vitinha and Moretti in the 2 centre midfield roles, with Binch pushed forward to play behind Schlosselberg. We are sticking with the formation that we ended the last episode with, which it's the formation that we used when we were at Napoli, with the right back pushed forward as a right wing back, and the player that would have been on the right hand side pushed in behind the number 10, in a number 10 role, pushed in behind the centre forward. So Vargas pushed forward as the wing back. We've got Lucas Serra playing as a half back in front of the centre defence, and Sam Binch, rather than having to play wide, he's tucked in a bit to try and exploit a bit more down that right hand side. Right, Varga with a throw. Vitinha gives it back to him. Vargas crosses the back post. It's headed away from Aaron Gonzalez, but Serefcan wins it back. Mafreta to Serra. Into Vitinha, onto Binch. Fires it past the keeper. That's a great start. Less than 4 minutes on the clock, and we've taken the lead. Mafreta gives it to Serra, who rifles the ball into Vitinha, who just flicks it on. Binch takes a touch past the defender and then just passes it into the bottom corner. Right, Gonzalez with the corner. Goes short to Vitinha. He squares it, and Varga tried to whip it into the top corner but couldn't keep it down. And there we are, half time, 1-0 up because of that early goal. And we've been pretty decent. They've always had a big chance there where Donnarumma made a good save. But we could do with just maybe taking another chance and extending that lead for a bit of comfort. Right, free kick to Serra, back to Lodviks. Goes back to Donnarumma, into Serra, across to Mafreta, forward to Moretti. He looks to find Gonzalez, but it's cleared away from him. Mafreta goes back. Lucas Serra to Seref-Chan. And keeping the ball well. Moretti back to Mafreta. Back to Moretti. Vitinha wide to Varga. Cuts it in on his left foot and fires it over the top. Right, Varga with a throw. Vitinha back to Varga. Into Binch. He loses out. And they've tried to play it down the line. They've gone back into their own box though. And again. And now they've got out. And Finucci, luckily, his shot was straight at Donnarumma. That could have been bad for us there. All right, we've got 20 minutes left. We made some changes to bring some fresh legs on. All right, Shablas down the right. Loses out, but gets it back straight away. Back to Boyomo. Shablas gives it away again. They set a bad back pass. Schusselberg gets in on it, round the keeper. Puts it into an empty net. And that gives us a bit of breathing space. We've not been great in the second half at all, as evidenced by the couple of times that Shablas has given the ball away in a row there. Luckily, though, they've gone to pass it back to the keeper. It's short. Schusselberg's got there before the keeper. Calmly takes it round him, puts it in the back of the net, and puts us 2-0 up with less than 10 minutes to go. And there we go. Full time, 2-0. Not the best performance, but we got the result, and that's all that really matters. We've made it to the beginning of December, and we've had a bit of an up and down time since that Fiorentina game. We started with a 2-1 victory at home against Genoa that was helped by them being down to 10 men for 55 minutes. We went 1-0 up just before half-time. They pulled a goal back before the hour, and then Sandro Tonali popped up with the winner. We were then at home to Club Brugge in the Champions League and won comfortably 3-0. Before we got beat 2-1 against Roma, and again we had a player sent off in the first half. We did actually then take the lead right on half-time, but they were too strong in the second half. We then beat Palermo 3-1 at home. Again, pretty comfortable result. And then we got beat in our most recent game, a home game in the Champions League against Borussia Dortmund 2-1. We pulled back a late consolation goal, but we were pretty dire for most of the game. So as far as the Champions League is concerned, we're actually still in 7th, having played those 2 extra games. We're now on 10 points. We're in a decent position. Hopefully we can finish in the top 8, just because it means there's less games. And we can then plan a bit better for the Coppa Italia when it starts. And then as far as the league's concerned, we're sat in 4th. We've got a game in hand on Sassuolo, so if we win this game against Atalanta, we go above them. Atalanta are having a pretty poor start to the season. They're down in 16th. And going into the game, we don't have too many issues. We're only missing Fabio Moretti, but we do have Tonali back. Obviously, he was suspended for the last game that we saw. So he'll probably just step straight into there, or even Binch back in that central midfield role. But hopefully we can pick up the 3 points and try and build a bit of form before we come to the Coppa Italia. This is the side we've picked for the trip to Atalanta. Varga's back in after his suspension. We're going with Lodovics and Boyomo as the central defensive pairing, with Owen Beck at left back. We're going with Tonali and Binch in the 2 in centre midfield, with Kim Soo-hyun behind Schusselberg and Gonzalez out on the left. Right, a throw for them in our half. Moving back to the centre halves. I mean, that was far too easily. I mean, hopefully that's offside, but they've basically just carved us open there. Luckily it was disallowed, but like that pass is too easy. No one anywhere near him, and a simple tap in the middle of the box. But luckily it was offside. luckily this time we did get across. Beck gets a challenge in. Boyomo now bringing it forward. Binch onto Tonali. Back to Serie. Tonali now with space. Looks for Varga wide. It eventually comes back to Tonali. The fact that Tonali and Varga have both been sent off recently and they're already on yellow cards is a bit of a concern. Wide to Gonzalez. Cross into Binch. Toe pokes it basically into the top corner. And based on the chances and the highlights that we've seen, this seems a bit against the run of play. Kim Soo-hyun lifts it over to Gonzalez, who takes it down and then just whips a low one in. And then Binch just sticks the outside of his right foot on it into the top corner for 1-0. And there we are, half-time 1-0. Nothing's happened since. And there we are, half-time 1-0. Nothing's happened since the goal. But we could do with being a bit better in the second half. Right, a throw for them. Schusselberg loses out. Gain a big space in centre midfield. And this time it's going to count. There's just a huge gaping hole in the centre of that midfield, and I don't quite understand why. All the centre midfielders have gone across to the right. And that just left a big hole. Something is not working here. Right, we've got a throw, gone back to Boyomo. Lodovic's over the top to Gonzalez. In to Kim Soo-hyun. It's turned behind for a corner. Beck to take it. Pulls it back short to Gonzalez. He runs all the way around the outside. His shot is deflected behind for another corner. This time the ball's lifted to the back post and it's easy for the keeper to come and claim. Right, Schlusselberg wins it back, Binch onto Gonzalez. And he just fires it high and wide. Right, we've switched the formation. We've made a few personnel changes to get some fresh legs on. They've got a corner though. It's pulled back to the edge of the area. Oh my god. Thankfully, I've got no idea why that's disallowed. Because the player's right in front of the goalkeeper. We are just, there's something not right with this team at the minute. If we're winning, it's because we're grinding results out. It's not because we're performing well. And there we go, full time 1-1. Probably, I mean, if anything, they probably deserve to edge it looking at the match stats, but we need to find some form because coming up in the next episode, we've got the start of the Coppa Italia. And there we are, the end of another episode, and our form's not great. The performances haven't been great, but we do need to pick it up, as we said, because in the next episode, the Coppa Italia starts, and that is the sole aim for this season, is the Coppa Italia. Get that done and get out of here. Join us next time to see if we can start the Coppa Italia well. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.